Hello there, this is WTG Boab talking to you here. It's a little bit of an audio / video podcast, I would say this time. If the sound quality isn't great, it's because I'm recording myself for the very first time without the help of Mr. Parliament Peeper. And I'm going to give you a quick little video rundown and audio, hopefully it'll be spliced together by Mark, of my trip to Japan and which consoles I managed to pick up over there. So this year, September the 26th, I flew out to Japan for 2 weeks with my girlfriend. Flew out with Emirates and it was amazing. Had a really good time over there, but as everyone knows, when you go to Japan and you're staying in Tokyo district, I know there's one in Osaka as well, but I had to go to Super Potato, the legendary store that everyone knows of who is into retro gaming or gaming whatsoever. They make a pilgrimage, I would say, to Super Potato to see what consoles they have and what kind of products they have on sale. So I did that the very first week I went there. Within the first few days I went to there because it was about maybe 20 minutes from my hotel. I was staying in the Chiyoda district and it was in I can never pronounce it, so I'm not even going to pronounce it, but you know where it is. Akihabara district, that's what it was in, I think. So that was about 20 minutes from where I was, a few stops on the subway and a 5-minute walk from the actual train station itself. So when I first went in, it's on the building that it's in is in 5 floors, but Super Potato's across 3 floors. So floor 5 is arcades, floor 4 is your kind of more up to date retro style, as you can say. That's like your Dreamcasts, your PS2s, a lot of the CD based stuff was there. And on the 3rd floor, Super Potato's 1st floor I guess, was retro like Famicoms, Super Famicoms, MSXs, all that kind of stuff, and cartridge based products. So when I went in, the very first thing you see is a giant Game Boy and a Super Mario statue. So you go there and you see it, and to your left hand side all you have is Famicom disk systems, top loaders, lots of other things. Now long, it kind of goes generation wise, so that's what you see when you walk in. It's really good. I've got a few photos, so I might send them to Mark as well and he can stick them up. But when I walked in, I was just blown away by what I seen. And this is obviously in Japan and they have, it's there, it's like coming over here and seeing an NES. No one's going to blink an eye, but I was pretty taken aback by how much was there, and legendary consoles that you never thought you'd actually see in the flesh. But obviously over there it's 10 a penny. So I went over and I looked around with my girlfriend and was like, oh, I have to leave, I can't stay here because I'll spend all my money within the first 3 days, and I didn't want to do that. So anyway, went back and that's all I kept thinking about, so I'll go back and I'll get that when I get there. So the following week we went down to Osaka, and I knew there was a Super Potato in Osaka, so I went there as well. And I actually picked up something because didn't want to just pick everything up in Tokyo. I thought I'll share the memory about, and I decided to buy my my Famicom top loader there. I worked out around, I think it was maybe £25 or so for the top loader. Really happy with it, and I picked up Super Mario Brothers 3 because it's one of the very first games I ever properly remember owning for the NES. I did have games before it, but it's one of the games that I loved growing up as a kid. So I thought, whilst I'm in Japan, I'll pick up the Japanese version of that. So after that, went to the Formula 1 stuff. I moved around Japan for a little bit, and then went back to Tokyo for the last 4 days of the holiday. And then I decided, yep, I'm going to go back to Super Potato and pick up my products that I wanted. So I went in. Very first thing I did was I picked up a Virtua Boy. I'd seen it and it was boxed complete, and that was a little bit expensive. Well, I say a little bit expensive, but it was the most expensive item I'd bought from Super Potato. It was individually priced, and it worked out around, I would say, £50 to £60 I think it was I picked it up for. And I picked up Tetris with it as well, 3D Tetris, the Japanese version, not the US version obviously, and it was boxed as well. So that was 1,000 yen, which worked out just over £5 or just under £5. Can't remember off the top of my head just now. So yeah, I was really happy with that. So then I walked through again, and so I definitely wanted that, and I was like kind of torn between a white Sega Saturn and a Virtua Boy, and I already have a Sega Saturn, and I was thinking, do I go for that or not? So I was like, no, I don't have a Virtua Boy. I don't know the next time I'm going to be able to pick up a Virtua Boy for that price. So I just decided to go ahead, pick up the Virtua Boy boxed. Didn't know how I was going to get it home, but anyway, I picked that up, and I picked up a Famicom Disk System as well. So, and also picked up a game for that, and I couldn't tell you the name of it because it was the cheapest game there. I couldn't actually see any of the Metroids, any Zeldas, any Mario games for it. It was all Japanese based games at the time, and I didn't do enough research about it. I was just kind of deer in the headlights when I seen it and thought, I just need to get something right now for it. So I picked up a game, and it was again just under 1,000 yen. But from what I remember, it's been ported to the DS and other systems, so I might need to try to get an English port of it to actually play it. What else did I pick up during that day? Trying to think. No, I didn't pick anything else up that day. So I got the Virtua Boy, the Disk System, and that was it. Yeah, so those two systems was the ones I got. Then when I was in the store, I had a quick look around, and I seen a surprise item which I'll go into in a minute or two. Anyway, when I left my girlfriend, I went back and says, oh, I forgot to pick up the Famicom, the original Famicom with the hardwired controllers. I was like, oh damn, I totally forgot to pick those up, because I thought I'd need that to get the Disk System to work. Anyway, we went back to the hotel, and I tested it all out, and it worked on the top loader anyway with the AV out, and that was fine. So I kept on thinking to myself, man, I really want to go back and pick up this secret system. The secret system, I was like, oh, I kept thinking about it all the time, going, oh, I really need to get that. So the next day I go back to Super Potato again, and there it is. It's still there. I kept thinking, oh, it's such a bargain, someone's going to snap that up. And what it was an N64 DD, loose, non-tested, no box, no manuals, no games. I couldn't even see any games in the store for it. It was just sitting there itself, black. It's got a little bit of scratching on it, but I looked at it and it was only 3,000 yen. It was like 3,300 yen, which worked out to be round about £18.50. I was like, oh, I can't, even if it's broken, I want to pick it up because it looks cool, and I'll be able to stick it on an N64, and it'll be a little presentation piece to say, oh, it doesn't work, but there's only 15,000 of these made available in the world, and I happen to have one. It might not be working, but it's still good. So when I was in the store as well, I thought, well, you never know, my N64, my PAL version, won't work with it. So I thought, I seen the N64 sitting around, so I picked one up, and it's a colour you don't get back in America or the UK. It's red and grey, or red and white. I actually think the official colour is, top of it's red, bottom of it's white. I know the control is the same colour scheme, so top of it's red, bottom of it's clear white see-through plastic. It looks really nice, and the DD came with it, so the actual N64 cost more than the DD itself. And the gentleman in the store said, oh, it's not been tested, is that okay? And I said, yeah, that's fine. So I go back to the hotel. No, what else did I pick up? Yeah, I picked up the Famicom that day as well. So I picked up another Famicom, and I think that worked out cheaper than the top loader, so it might have been £20, I think, £30, £20 or £15 the original Famicom was. Again, that was more expensive. So I think that was more expensive than the DD as well, so I was quite happy. That's a little bit yellow, as you'll see from the video, but that was the best one they had in store at that time. So I got home so I got back to the hotel, plugged in the DD and the N64, and it came up with an error 33 code, I think it was, and then I googled that to see what it was. I thought, oh, it must not be working, and it just said that the jumper pack must still be installed in it, which it was. It's the jumper pack. It doesn't have the 4 megabyte RAM add-on for it, which I have at home anyway, So I thought, well, I'll get it home and I can test when I get home. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So yeah, I was really happy with that. And also, actually, I picked up something else whilst at the till, and it actually reminded me of being in a supermarket back in Britain here, and they sell sweets at the counter, like packs of chewing gum and little bottles of juice and all that at the counter. So when you're just about to leave, you go, oh, there's something I never thought I needed, but I see it and I'll pick it up. And what I picked up was a pocket station for the PS1. Always remembered them coming out and I remember reading about them in PlayStation magazine. It used to always say you could get a chocobo game from Final Fantasy VII to play on it. Again, there was no battery in it, but I tested when I got home. It's fine. That was 1,000 yen as well. That's about £5 or something. So that was good. So I picked all that up. Managed to fit it all in my suitcase. When I went to Japan, I went over with 12 or 13 kilograms of items in my bag, and when I came home I had 27, and I was allowed up to 30 kilos with a 2 kilogram give or take allowance on it. So I was really happy that I managed to pick all that up. My case was bulging. I actually spent about, my girlfriend will agree with me on this one, I spent over 2 hours trying to learn how to ranger roll your clothing, and basically that is folding it into the smallest, tightest sausage shaped items possible to fit all this extra stuff that I'd got into my bag. And I couldn't even fit some of the stuff in, so I had to jam it into my hand luggage. I actually came through customs with a Famicom top loader and an N64 controller in my bag. That was taking up most of my hand luggage allowance as well. So yeah, that was my trip to Japan. I loved it, loved every second of it. I'd recommend it to anybody. It's a culture shock to say the least. Everyone was super friendly, and I managed to pick up a couple of some great consoles, a couple of grails for myself that I never thought I'd be able to pick up, let alone get them for that cheap. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this footage and you get a little bit of insight of my recent holiday to Japan, and maybe if you want to ask any questions about what I got or anywhere else I visited there, just stick it in the comments below or hit me on Twitter. That's WTG Boab on Twitter. You can subscribe to the podcast or anything else like that. Anyway, so that's all for just now, and I'll catch you later on. Bye.